Welcome back to the Citizen Channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. And a special feature, of course, we do rate the players all season. I look at the Manchester Evening News ratings. We've done a half-season Premier League one. We've not had to do a Champions League one yet because we're still in it. And the League Cup, we only played a couple of games, so it wasn't worth bothering about. But yeah, FA Cup, our journey has finished. A game early, perhaps, than we would have liked. But we did manage 5 games, so I'm just going to have a look at how the players did in those 5 games we played. Obviously, there's only one player who played in them all, but we're going to have a look at what the scores are. I've used a minimum in this of 3 starting appearances, so I've not included any sub-appearances or anything like that. So you have to start at least 3 of the 5 games to appear in this statistic or these findings. And we ended up with just 11 players. Yeah, about 23 actually started, various players, but we just ended up with 11 who played the minimum of the 3 games out of 5 who sort of fit in the criteria, if you like. Any surprises? Well, Laporte only started the Southampton game, so he only started 1 game, so he won't be in the top 11. And Ederson, of course, only appeared in 1 game as well due to an injury at the time with Stefan. So again, that Ederson won't feature in this, of course. And there was only one player in that 11 that started all 5 games, and that was Cancelo. So yeah, and again, that probably didn't surprise me actually, Cancelo. What I've done, I've included the M.E.N ratings, of course, in this little thing. I will give you my position and then the M.E.N position. And, of course, it was mainly Stuart Brennan. There was a couple of Simon Bukowskis during this FA Cup run. And we sort of agreed on the bottom 2 to position 10 and 11. Me and the Evening News agreed on that. And the only other one we agreed on was the 2nd spot. So not the number 1. So there's some slight differences and interesting differences elsewhere. So shall we go? Shall we go from the top? Let's start. Let's say we could have a top 10, but there's only 11, so we'll go top 11 just to be different. And it was no real surprise to me in the 11th spot, and he has been getting some flack. And again, I just hadn't, even before the FA Cup semi-final, I didn't think he'd played that well. I thought it might have started okay, but not done that great in the games. And it's borne out by both mine and the M.E.N, whose ratings we're going to talk about. He played 4 out of the 5 games. Of course, Zach Steffen, I don't want to beat him over the head, but these are the stats. It's just how they stand. He actually scored 5.75 average for me over the 4 games and 5.5 with the Evening News. Yeah, so his best game was Southampton away in that 4-1 victory. So not a big surprise. As I say, I'm not just having a down on him because of the semi-final. Obviously, I didn't believe he'd been at it in all the FA Cup games, and that sort of backs that up because at least M.E.N agrees with me as well. Let me know, any of these guys, let me know what you think. As I say, it's just stats, it's just figures. It doesn't, at the end of it, doesn't mean sometimes if you ask a person, they would probably come up with different things to this, but that's just what it is. In 10th place, yeah, a surprise to me because I've always banged the drum for this guy. He played 4 out of 5 as well. For me, 5.75, and it was Grealish. Yeah, Grealish, he got a bit higher in the M.E.N. He got 6.125 average, but his best effort of the FA Cup run was Peterborough away. So, yeah, in 10th spot, Grealish. In 11th, Stefan, which we both agree with the Manchester Evening News. Now it starts getting a bit mixed up now, where we're slightly different on judgment on players. In 9th spot for me, I've got Jesus, 4 out of 5 he played, 6.25, but he's actually 6th spot in the Manchester Evening News top 11. And he's averaging 6.5. Interestingly enough, his worst performance was where some other players had the best performances. It was Peterborough away, obviously in the 2-0 victory. So that's Jesus for me in 9th for the Evening News. Up in 6th, so he did all right on that. Certainly better on theirs. In 8th, so what we've got in 8th for me, played all 5 games as I mentioned before, so it's Cancelo. He scores 6.3 average with me and a 6.4 with the Manchester Evening News. He was slightly higher in their ratings. He finished 7th, and Southampton away in the 4-1 victory was his best effort in the FA Cup. In 7th, we've got, well, he played 3 out of 5. We've got Phil Foden. Yeah, so in 7th, Phil Foden, 6.33 from me, but he's actually in the top 5 on the Manchester Evening News in 5th, so he's actually 6.67, so he scored a little bit higher with the M.E.N. And as I stated before, some players had the best game against Peterborough, and Foden, for both us, me and the M.E.N, had his best game against the Posh away in that match. In 6th, so nearly halfway, or just about halfway. Playing 4 out of 5, I've got Aki in 6th place, 6.38 average out of 10. And just 6th for the Evening News. He's actually down in joint 8th, I think, in the Manchester Evening News. And his worst score, interesting enough, was Peterborough away. As I said, it's a funny game. Some players had a good score and some players were not very good against Peterborough away in that 2-0 victory. So Aki is in 6th for me. And on to the top 5. So my in 5th place, played 3 out of 5. We've got Fernandino, our captain. I've given him an average of 6.5. But the M.E.N liked him more than I did. They had him in 3rd spot on their ratings and scored him 7.33, so that was quite impressive. And again, his best Peterborough away, so big difference there between me and M.E.N on Fernandinho. Into 4th, played 3 out of 5. I've got Mr. Walker, Kyle Walker, 6.83. Yeah, there's not many scored over 7, but we'll get there. Just 6 from the M.E.N, so big discrepancy there for us, me and the M.E.N, and a lowly joint 8th on their ratings. So, yeah, even though he was 4th on mine, he's 8th on the M.E.N ratings, and Southampton away was his best performance. So we're into the top 3. The top 3 in 3rd spot. We've got John Stones, played 3 out of 5, 7.17 from me, so the first guy to get over 7. And they are at Manchester Evening News top man. He's the top guy with the Manchester Evening News at 7.67. He's our highest rated FA Cup player. So he's 3rd on my list, but he's top as far as the Manchester Evening News are concerned. And Fulham, going back to the Fulham game, the 4-1 victory at Fulham at home was his best scores for both myself and the Manchester Evening News. So there you go, top 3 for me. Stones, top of the shop for the M.E.N, John Stones. So let's see how we differ with this second. The second, as I said, is spot on for me and the M.E.N. Played 4 out of 5. Gundogan, at 7.25 score for me, and a 7.5 for the Manchester Evening News. Stuck him into 2nd spot on both our rating charts. Fulham and Saints were equally good. His highest scores for both ourselves. So Mr. Gundogan was number 2. So who we not mentioned? Might have played at least 3 games. Well, my first and sat 3rd for the Manchester Evening News. So again, a bit of a discrepancy. I've got played 3 out of 5. I've got KDB. Yeah, KDB did surprise me because I hadn't thought KDB had played that well a lot of the season. He'd played a few, in the FA Cup from January. But he scored 7.33 from me. But he also scored that from the Manchester Evening News. But that wasn't good enough to get him, obviously, in top 1 or 2 spots in theirs. But he was top for me. And the Southampton away was where he got his best mark. So there you go. What do you think? Any surprises? So my first was KDB. My second, Gundogan. My 3rd, Stones. My 4th, Walker. And my 5th, as I said, we did differ. John Stones, I'm not going to take any away from John Stones, was the M.E.N's top one, so I certainly won't take any away with that. But let me know if you think there's any surprises. As I say, it'd be hard for you to remember back all the FA Cup games, guys, wouldn't it? But please let me know what you think, and let me think what I think of this top 11. Just some interesting stats. I say it's only stats, it's only figures at the end of the day, but quite interesting. And of course, there will be hopefully a Champions League one. Hopefully, at the end of the season, of course, there will be an updated league one. We did half a season one, of course, way back in the end of December, early January. There will be a full season one as well. So join me again for them. But let me know your thoughts anyway. It'd be great to hear from you. And the stats never lie, do they? No, probably do. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please, I only ever ask you to do one thing. Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.